Alright, so I'm trying to live a life where I eat food that's mostly, say, natural and whole. Some processed foods that I like to believe have only been water extracted, like this shredded wheat. I don't know what they would have done to it to make any kind of chemical extractions. There's no added sugar or anything, it's just cooked wheat. Um, I don't know how things can even be called food after they've been chemically processed. It's an isolation of particular phytochemicals, uh, and just elimination of the pulp, and it's just one small part of a plant that's then, once it's extracted from the plant, being put into a processed type of food. I don't really. I had that cereal yesterday, but you see those different chemicals and stuff, and it's like 80% of those extractions are from plants. Okay, so they're they're extracting these little chemicals from plants that are pretty edible. Say, for example, the sugar beet. It's an edible beet. It's not the tastiest thing. It's an edible beet, but they're taking out just one property of it, the sugar, and then tossing the rest of the beet in the garbage. And they make more money selling that part of the sugar beet and throwing out the rest. As a whole, you get more value. You feed the people more with the whole sugar beet, but you make more money by harvesting that drug through chemical reactions. All right, I don't have a problem with water extractions. Okay, you could take that sugar beet, cook it in water, and then just use that water. Just a water extraction, a heated water extraction, cooking the beet. You'd have a sweet water, and also some other properties within it. But instead, companies want to add some kind of a solvent, an acid of some kind that leaches the sugar out in some way, and then maybe use some other chemical, or just dry it out like that, and the solvent dissipates in the air. I'm not sure exactly the next step in detail after exposing the sugar beets to a solvent, what they do next. I mean, they'd probably have to cook the beets first, and then apply the solvent, and then dehydrate everything out, and they'd have their addictive sugar drug. I mean, I don't have a problem with water extraction. I like making teas. I make teas in this. You know, I use a press, like what they do with olive oil to get that oil out. They talk about this first pressed, cold pressed olive oil. You know, you just press the olives. The olives have to be processed first in some way, like exposed to the sun or cooked or something like that, aged, and then they extract the oil. But either way, heat or regular temperature is preferable with people to use heat for the extraction process, because that'll get more of the properties out of whatever plant they're targeting. Like I'm interested in making some catnip, so it'd be ideal to use hot water. I'd let it sit in the canister with hot water or whatever for a little bit, and then I'll take this press it out, leave the pulp behind, drink the water, I'm good. But a lot of companies, I mean, this is a little extreme to look at it that way, but a lot of companies will use to really harvest the chemical. They'd use some kind of a solvent, maybe a vinegar. You know, I'd say I use a vinegar, and then that would get a little bit more of the property out, and then further, it would take a while, but further dehydrating everything, so I just have a powder of this catnip extract. It's not really popular, catnip extract. It doesn't really make people money because it's too mild, but you do have other extracts. Instead of catnip, I could use tobacco. I could make a tobacco extract. Instead of that, I could use cocaine, the coca leaf. I could use a coca leaf, put it in maybe vinegar, alcohol, or something that'll evaporate faster than water. Okay, and then I'll have my drug at a possibly cheaper rates. All right, that's a chemical extraction, putting it in even alcohol, and not just alcohol, but distilled alcohol, vodka. Okay, that's distilled. That's a little unnatural. Okay, that comes from they say potatoes, but I mean you could make vodka out of almost anything because it's an extract, and you're just getting that one chemical, alcohol. You know, it's like taking just the alcohol out of wine, out of grape wine, and making an extract of that. The extracts are just so ravaging to people's health, and yet the companies get away with it and have gotten away with it for a very long time. And we could see how it's affected our health, how it's affected healthcare costs, and yet nothing is done about it.